Hello, welcome back. We're going to talk today about the fact that everything that we see here in the world, everything we appear to experience, this too, is a dream, and that we have a choice to wake up from this dream. Do we choose it? We'll ask that question again, because that's central to what we call here in the world the spiritual path. We'll also talk about our home, and that's the title for today's discussion, home. The section that we're looking at in the text today is chapter 10, section 1, the title, At Home in God. In God. The pause is deliberate here so that we may take this to heart, that we may begin to really, truly contemplate the messages of this course. I mean, really, truly, not just to hear it once or twice, or to read a passage in the text and glance over it and return to your social media feed or whatever it is that you're doing. It's to really think about it, to take it to heart, so to speak, to contemplate these very simple truths until you're inspired to act on them. At that point, when you do this, your experience will show you that these ideas are true. You will learn this course experientially. That's how we do it. Because it's one thing to understand all of these ideas on an intellectual, so-called rational thinking mind basis, emphasis on so-called rational. That's important, yes, but it is far from the full picture. In fact, the overwhelming majority of the learning, the real learning, comes from practical application. It comes from our putting this into practice, which is why it's so critically important that it be known that A Course in Miracles is not a religion. It is not a cult. It's not some sideshow. It's a self-study curriculum, self-study. You take what you're willing to take at a given time. You take what you want to take. I throw the word willing in there. It's important for a number of reasons. So the reality is that we're perfectly at home in God right now, eternally. We've always been, and everything that we appear to be experiencing on this spinning ball of rock is in fact a dream. It is illusion. In fact, this course makes it very clear that the only things here in this world that can even be said to be real are our loving thoughts. Our homes are illusion. Our physical body is illusion, most definitely. Our car is an illusion. Breakfast is an illusion. Email, well, that's definitely an illusion, isn't it? It's ephemeral. Where does it come from? Where does it go? Who thought of that? And who thought of clogging our inboxes with spam? Just asking for a friend. Everything here is illusion. Banishment, of which we're dreaming, is not of God, therefore it does not exist. There is no separation of any kind. God does not banish, he does not punish. So if you were raised, as I was, to believe that God is jealous, he's not jealous. There is no one or no separate thing of whom to be jealous. There is no separation of any kind. He cannot be jealous or vindictive or hateful or throw us out of the garden party because we had a nice tasty apple. Impossible. There is no separation of any kind. Let that sink in. That's why I repeat it time and again. Today may be the day where it really hits home, and I hope that is the case for you, because it's a beautiful thing when it does. And you have one of these aha kind of moments. Oh, yeah. Hmm. Hmm. If that happens to you today, that would be very cool. So let's take a look here at this picture of dreaming. A Course in Miracles is far from the only spiritual tradition extant in the world today that posits that this is a dream. If you've studied Eastern philosophy, if you're familiar with Buddhism, there are many schools of Buddhism who say exactly the same thing. This is a dream. So let's look at an example of our dreaming when we fall asleep, whether it's at night or we're taking a nap or we're in a boring meeting or something, and our head hits the desk or the computer. And we just kind of go to sleep. And we dream, and our dreams seem real to us. It seems like we're really flying, or it seems like we're really in 8 different places at once, having a conversation with someone whom we've never seen. And then the next minute, we're doing something else and something else. And we see things and we hear things in the dream, and we taste and touch and feel things. We smell things in the dream, and it seems and looks real. Yet when we wake up, we recognize that the images were not real at all, even though we seemed to be violating what we call the rules of physics and reality here in the world. We're flying in the dream. Here in the waking dream, this thing can't fly of its own, of itself. It's got to get up in an airplane or a glider or something. Yet when we dream, we could be flapping our arms, pretending they're wings and flying, and it could seem really real. Yet when we wake up, it's as though the dream were never there. It was not there. It was and is complete illusion. Same with spiritual awakening. When we awaken from the dream, it is as though the dream, which seemed solid and real at the time, it is as though the dream were never there. It was not there. It was not there. This is why we call enlightenment awakening. Now, you can call it whatever you want. They're all just words: enlightenment, awakening, realizing God, realizing the nature of mind, figuring it all out, going home, right? Whatever you wish to call this. The term awakening is appropriate here. It's apt because we're asleep. We're dreaming. We're perfectly at home in God, but we're dreaming of exile. Paragraph 2 of this section of A Course in Miracles is where we get the language. We're perfectly at home in God, dreaming of exile, dreaming of excess activity and frustration, dreaming of a nasty corporate boss or a clogged inbox or physical ailments or whatever it is that appears to befall us here in the world. It's a dream from which we're awakening. Now, could we awaken in a spontaneous flash? Well, technically, yes. The question with that is, are you ready to do that? Or would it throw you into existential dread and a serious crisis? And in the likelihood that it would, we get what appears to be a process. We get what appears to be a gentle dream of awakening. Under the guidance of our inner teacher, we forgive moment to moment. We extend love to our brother, and we learn to see this dream world forgiven rather than vile and vindictive. We're the dreamer. You are the dreamer. This world is not happening to you, and you are not a victim of the world you see. If you're playing the victim, just know that you may continue to play that as long as you like, but you are not the victim of the world you see. Not a single one of us is. We're dreaming we could choose to awake. We could choose to wake up. Do you choose to do so? At some point, you'll answer yes to that. Perhaps you already have. Excellent. It is a choice, a moment-to-moment choice, which is why I often say on these videos that spirituality is for grown-ups. I mean, the kids' table may be kind of fun with little treats and lollipops and a food fight or something like that, but spirituality is for grown-ups. It's an adult endeavor. Not that you can't have fun. Definitely have fun. This is a dream. Enjoy it. See it forgiven. See it for what it is rather than for what we've made it, because it is not our home. We're perfectly at home in God. And spirituality for grown-ups is about taking responsibility, adults, responsibility for our experience. The best way to do that is to decide to do it and hand over your entire experience to our inner teacher who will guide you. That's how we do it. So, do you choose to wake up? Banishment is not real. It's not of God, so it does not exist. It's a dream from which we're waking up. So I want to address what frequently comes up in spirituality, and it comes up in a number of different traditions. So it's no surprise that it would come up for a student of A Course in Miracles, and perhaps you've had some experience with this. There are plenty of people who have fallen into the temptation to slack off, hit the couch, and give up on life because it's a dream. And to just say, yeah, it's a dream, doesn't matter anyhow. So I'm not going to pay this bill. I'm not going to take care of my physical body. And I'm going to shorten this lifespan already short. I'm going to shorten this already short and finite lifespan even more because I don't give a crap. Right? That kind of, yeah, I'm going to go back to the bong on the couch and, tap the keg and just hang out in my pajamas kind of attitude. You may have been tempted by that, or you may have thought, well, what is the point if this is all a dream? What is the point anyway? Well, I'll tell you what the point is. Everything that appears to happen to you is a profound gift. You're invited to see it that way. It is a profound gift on a silver platter for your awakening. Your entire experience is happening to you for this reason, so that you may choose to wake up. Anything that appears to be painful is an opportunity for true forgiveness, to practice true forgiveness. Anything that's not wholly joyous, an opportunity to forgive. Anything that is joyous and is blissful and wonderful and loving and forgiving is symbolic of your joy, of our shared joy and magnificence and limitlessness as Christ, as the Christ, singular, the thought of God, the creation of God, at home in God, because ideas, thoughts of God, leave not their source, capital S. Thoughts remain in the mind of the thinker. Where are you? Here in what looks to be reality, here in the dream, there is a dream, what we call a waking dream, this right now, and dreams that we have when we're asleep. Neither one is in accord with reality. Reality is we're perfectly at home, awake in God. So why should you continue to do what you're doing in life? Because other people need you. Of course, they only look like other people. It looks like there are 8 billion of us. There are people out there that will respond to you. They will listen to you. When you share the Holy Spirit with them, they will get it and they will listen to it much more readily than they will from me or from someone else. How we wake up is to share. This is how creation works. It's sharing. We have received the love of God. We accept it for ourselves and we share it. We extend it. There are people out there that will hear the Holy Spirit best through you. That doesn't mean you have to turn on a camera and microphone and set up a YouTube channel. You don't have to do that at all. If you're not called to do that, there's no point in your doing that. This is my own particular directive. Yours may look very different. This is why that we continue to insist that your relationship with your inner teacher is of paramount importance, because you will be directed what to say. You will, if you allow it. You will be directed what to do and what to say, where to go. You'll be directed as to the people to say it to. Everything. That's why we continue to go about our business here in the world, because others need us and we need us, because this is how we awaken, by sharing the love of God with our brother. As we do it, we show ourselves, we prove to ourselves through experience that these teachings are true. We share things to keep them in our mind. We share love to keep it in our mind. So, of course, in the present moment, we have the choice of sharing separation, guilt, blame, and fear as well. We can't get rid of it in that way. Sharing something's how you keep it. So what are you sharing? Do you choose awakening? And you may very well say, yeah, no, not today. And that's fine. It's your choice. Remember the conversation about grown-ups and adult responsibility? It's not flattering, and perhaps you're deeply unflattered by this conversation. Yeah, no problem. Consider that you were meant to hear it. I mean, you're still watching, so something has been said or something will be said that you were clearly meant and intended to hear today. So may you recognize that and do what your inner teacher suggests you do with that. Take action on that. That's why you're here. It's the ego that wants to be coddled and babied and stroked. That's what wants to be flattered. The beauty of all of this is we have a choice right now. You could choose awakening. And in the next moment, you could choose awakening again and again and again. See what's happening here. We're developing a habit of choosing the strength of Christ. We're choosing life rather than death and littleness. We're choosing light rather than dark. We're choosing the Holy Spirit rather than the ego. However you choose to characterize that in words, they're all just words. The choice is one and the same. Which is it? Which is it? Because we're perfectly at home in God. What we call the spiritual path is merely a waking from a dream. Remember, when we awaken from a dream, it's as though the images in the dream and the sensations and the experiences were never there. They were not. So, to the extent that this seems a little crazy, a little far out, perhaps fanciful or threatening, it's the ego that's threatened. That's important to understand. The Holy Spirit does not threaten you. The Holy Spirit is loving. However, the ego could be mortally afraid of the truth that you are not a body. The ego can and will be mortally afraid of the reality that there is no world. So here, when this dream appears concrete and solid and real, it's inevitable that questions will arise. You are more than encouraged to ask your inner teacher for help and guidance. Now, along the way, there are a number of other avenues to ask questions. This is one of them. You are more than welcome to ask any questions that you may have related to this course or spirituality in general. So this is most certainly a safe place for you to do that. So if you have questions, please go ahead and leave them here. We frequently have some very interesting and informative discussions here. So, got questions? Please leave them. If you have comments as well, or if you just want to pop in and say hello, I'd love to hear from you. Now, if you haven't subscribed, here's the subscription arrow. That's the arrow in the corner of your screen. When you click on that or hover over it, a prompt comes up saying subscribe. You click that. And we'd love to have you join us here. A number of videos appear each week, and what we're aiming to do is share this course. This course means what it says. It means what it says over and over again, because we need repetition as adult learners, which is why several videos appear each week. This course aims to do nothing less than help us do a 180, to learn to see things as they are, rather than the way that we have made them. In other words, to switch our perception around completely, to turn it right side up. It is upside down. The ego doesn't wish to accept that. So be it. Continue to show up and continue to nourish your relationship with your inner teacher. Continue to forgive the Son of God. And we do this. We don't see things here in the world as they are, and we're learning to do just that. It's a complete 180. So I invite you to join me. All right. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. I'll see you soon.